is Chinka Besinga-Sarmiento and welcome to Buhay Parang Life, where we discuss issues about this thing called life. Thank you, dear viewers, for joining us in this episode. We invite you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page and to write down your comments and suggestions below. Buhay Parang Life is part of Faith Watch TV. We encourage you to download the app onto your mobile devices. So this for this episode, I have invited a former lay missionary. She was a colleague of mine when we were both working as lay missionaries in the pro-life arm of the Live Christ, Share Christ mission. She was also an online host, okay, for her show entitled The Happy Life. Ayan, Happy Life kasi happy lang talaga siya. Happy lang siya, palagi siyang nakasmile. Kaya kapag kausap mo siya, kahit na mo, hindi ko nga sure kung may problema siya. Kasi pag kausap ko siya, parang hindi halata na may problema siya, no? But I am so happy to be joined in this episode by none other than Miss Aimee Joy Bautista. Hi, Aimee!
Hi, Ate Chinka. Hi, everyone, to all who are viewing this show. And thank you for the very generous introduction, Ate. May problema naman.
Meron
Pero
na. Pero
sa
hindi
amo at
pinapakita.
grasya ng Diyos nakakayanan.
Ayan, okay. Kasi kahit may problema, nakaka-inspire ka pa rin, 'di ba? Dahil ngiti lang ng ngiti.
Yes,
Ayan.
that's
So, I really wanted to invite you, Amy, because gusto ko ring malaman yung kwento mo ngayon, no? As I shared earlier, we both worked together as lay missionaries. But now you are working in the secular world, tama ba?
yes, Ate. So,
Ayan.
I'm
Sige,
back in the
so
corporate.
corporate. Okay, so what do you do now and what does your work entail?
So technically, so I'm back in the corporate, and it's more of a client-facing support kind of work. And we deal with medyo may pagka-accounting stuff ng konti and technical side. So particularly we help people who process payroll. So
Hmm.
um dahil nga medyo medyo numbers and stuff
Oo.
and money involved. So medyo stressful. Yan.
Oh, okay. So nasa
Mm-mm.
ano, parang accounting yung field, no? Kasi sabi mo nga numbers.
Yeah, parang may pagka-accounting slash and accounting technology. Kasi we help people process their payroll in the system. Ganun.
Okay. Pero ano ba 'yan? Is that what you studied in college?
Yes, ate. My course back then in college was management accounting and accountancy. So, yeah, full of numbers. Full
Oo,
of numbers.
numbers. Bakit yun yung pinili mong course?
So to be honest, top of my head, dahil gusto ko lang talagang yumaman.
Ha?
Pero
Okay.
syempre, di ba, as you grow old in life, there are things that you realize that matters most than money.
Mm.
So, kaya rin, yung nabanggit mga kanina, nag-lay missionary ako before,
Mm.
but then I felt that God is calling me into a different kind of mission now back in the
Mm.
corporate world. So it's a very different kind of shift from
Ah,
being a missionary. So, yun,
okay.
balik corporate na naman.
Oo. Meaning you worked in the corporate world after college.
Yes, right after graduating college, I worked for 6 years
Mm.
sa corporate, more of investment banking, and nung mga nakasunod na mga taon, assistant management accountant, and then I went to be a missionary, and
Mm.
then
For how
ayun nga,
long?
for 3 years, yung three and a
Yes.
half years yung
Oo.
sa missionary ko.
Mm.
And then ayun, I went back to the corporate because I felt like the Lord is calling me back here for a
Mm.
different kind of mission.
Mm.
So, ayun. Tsaka panggabi siya actually yung schedule.
Oo.
So medyo ano rin, challenging physically. Um, yun, nag-a-adjust every week.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
kaya Yun.
Oo, yun yung challenges mo ngayon. Ah,
Yes.
why did you end up being in this job now? Kasi 'di ba sinabi mo you parang you were describing that you were really into finance, no? Parang
Mhm.
banking, finance, accountancy, no? From college and then nag-missionary ka and then bumalik ka. Paano yung can you can you describe briefly lang, very briefly. Wala nang mga hugot or emotions. Ayan. Ano yung naging ano, kwento mo ng konti. Ano yung
Parang
nangyari?
mahirap yata i-separate yung emotions, no?
Ah, ganun ba? O sige, however way you
Joke
want
lang.
to describe. Sige, sige. How ending is how did you end up doing
Mhm.
what you are doing now?
Ayun, so nag-work ako sa corporate, and after working for in the corporate for a very long time, I felt that the Lord is calling me to be a missionary. So,
Mm.
nung time na yun, iniisip ko, paano ba maging missionary? Saan ba? Yun, parang I just have that vague idea that I need to be and I'm called to be a missionary. But the details of it, um, di ko alam kung paano.
Mm.
But the Lord surprises us
Mm.
with divine appointments. So I met a friend. Well, back then she was just an acquaintance, and I heard her talk about being pro-life and being a missionary. So I just asked her out to be a missionary. So, ayun, sakto naman. Merong opening. So, ayun na nga, naging part ako ng Live Christ, Share Christ mission. And it's a totally different world from corporate. So, nandun din yung worries about paano yung finances ko. I mean,
Mm.
practical
Mm.
lang, di ba?
Lalo na
Uh,
sa financing ka galing.
yes, oo.
Oo, tama.
So, mga
Oo.
practical things lang in life
Yeah.
na alam naman natin that there's more to life than money, but also at the same time, we need money to help the people around us. So parang kung ako lang, parang okay lang, wala akong problema, basta lang makakain ako, okay na yon. But there
Mm.
are also people who are relying sa tulong natin bilang anak at bilang kapatid. So, yun, but the Lord in His generosity provided for me while I was lay missionary. So, naalala ko pa nun, parang umiyak ako kasi, gosh, paano ako makasurvive? Syempre, coming from corporate, may mga luho ka na,
Oo.
alam mo na. Um, but then, after that, unti-unti ka naman pinurify ni Lord, unti-unti ka sinimplify ni Lord yung buhay mo. So, ayun, naging lay missionary ako, and I really enjoyed being a missionary. I think it was the best decision I've made in my life. I mean, one of the best decisions I've made in my life. It was really life-changing. I felt so free, and yung feel kong I was doing the things that I was supposed to be doing, and I was fulfilling the purpose that the Lord has given.
Mm.
So, yun, after some time of being a missionary, I felt like the Lord is calling me to a deeper um, calling or ministry. So, I discerned to be a religious sister.
Hmm.
So, I entered the convent, and I discerned for some time. Nung time na yun, sure na ako na, Lord, dito na ako. I mean, I'll settle down in religious life, and
Oo.
yun. But still the Lord purifies our desires. Still the Lord purifies us. So when I entered the convent, it was a different kind of emptying.
Aha.
And while I was there, mas nakilala ko kung sino talaga ako, at mas pinakita sa akin ng Diyos yung mga kakayanan ko talaga bilang isang tao. And I felt that the Lord, I mean, my time there, the Lord used it for Him to purify everything that is in me.
Mm.
And I think entering the convent was an emptying kind uh, of of phase that I need to undergo in my life. But
Mm.
then discerning that it was not the time for me, or at least it was not the kind of life that the Lord is calling me
Mm-mm.
into the kind of consecration. It was a different dying and a different emptying. Sabi ko nga sa spiritual director ko, I was emptied when I entered the convent, and but it was a different kind of emptying and dying to oneself when I moved out from the
Ah,
convent.
I see.
So, ayun, kasi I felt like the Lord is really calling me to bring Him outside, like,
Mm.
to be immersed
In the
in
world.
the struggles of the people.
Uh-huh.
So,
In the
yun,
outside world.
outside world, yun.
Okay.
So, kaya, nung time na yun, isip ko, ayokong bumalik sa corporate.
Ah. So parang
Pero,
ano, Amy, itong mga pangyayaring 'to, nangyari 'to lahat within in less than 5 years, if I am correct, no?
yes, in
Oo.
less than five
Kasi
years.
from corporate world, so parang correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm.
Ang nakukuha ko from your kwento so far is you had a plan why you
Mhm.
took the course that you took, and
Yes.
then why you went into finance, banking, accountancy. You had a plan, but then somehow dinisturb ka ng Diyos at pinamit sa iyo itong taong to that paved the way for you to become a missionary. And
Mhm.
then, somehow yung 3 years na yon na misyonero ka,
Mhm.
ah, paved the way for you to feel like you were being brought to a deeper kind of mission. Kasi ang
Yeah.
lay missionary, parang sabi nga nila, no, parang 1 foot in ka na sa religious life, no?
Mhm.
Pero
Yes.
kasi nasa mundo ka pa rin, no? Pero dinala ka dun sa religious life. Pero ang sinasabi mo ngayon, you were so sure. And yet, iba
Yes.
pa rin yung naging plano ng Diyos habang nasa loob ka, 'no? And this all happened in less than 5 years.
Yes. Yes. In less than 5 years. So it's like, nung time na yon, tama naman, the Lord is calling me to enter religious life,
Oo, oo.
but not to settle down in religious life.
Okay. To
So,
enter at that time.
yes. So, tama naman, the Lord is calling me for consecration. But,
Okay.
I guess that time, yun lang kasi yung nakikita ko talaga way for me.
Oo.
I mean, that's how I understood things.
Oo, oo.
But alam naman natin, the God's plan is way unfathomable and
Oo.
way beyond our plans and
Oo.
dreams. So, ayun, I was called out, and ayun nga, I tried to go back to corporate,
Corporate.
and ayun, I'm
Ayan.
here.
Andiyan
So,
ka na.
I'm here back in the
Into the
corporate.
corporate world. Okay,
Yes,
sige.
yes.
Pero Amy, parang uh, is it correct for me to assume that being in the corporate world now is way different than when you first joined the corporate world after graduation?
Yes, it was really, really different.
Mm,
So, dati when I graduated from college, ang tanging alam ko lang is, I'm working to earn money.
mm.
And I'm working to enjoy the fruits of my labor.
Okay, okay.
But now, like, having that kind of journey, andun na yung, sabihin natin na andun na yung accountability and responsibility when it comes to work and dealing with the people around me.
Mhm,
So, I know I was not just called back into the corporate for solely earning money. Like,
mhm.
I know the Lord has called me to, like, to feel the struggles that
Mm.
the young professionals are feeling in the corporate. Kasi, like, when we were lay missionary, parang ang dali lang mag-preach na, this is how you do your work, like, this is how you live your life. But
Aha.
then when you're in yung nandun ka na talaga very immersed, feeling all the stresses of working, the stress of the schedule of work, the stress of providing, the stress of earning, saving money.
Uh-huh.
Iba na siya. Iba na siya. And
Oo.
also dealing with your colleagues. I have that kind of heart that they're not just colleagues. Yung parang andun pa rin yung
Parang may mission ka sa kanila.
oo, yeah, may mission ako sa kanila. Like I feel like I need to I need to be the Lord's face in the midst of the stress. Yun. Pero
Oo.
ang hirap kasi nasi-stress din ako.
Okay. Pero Amy, are you I hope you don't mind my asking, you don't have to reveal your exact age, but are you generally older than your colleagues now?
Yes, generally older.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So they would you say that they look at you as somebody who has with wisdom, advanced in her years, so that you can share some kind of advice or guidance to them? Parang ganun ba ang nakikita mo?
Um, well, sa corporate, parang wala namang ate-ate, ganun,
Oo, oo.
ate-ate feels. But to be honest, I didn't reveal my age
Sa
when,
kanila.
when I joined. So
Okay.
they thought, when they saw me, they thought I was a fresh grad.
Wow!
So,
So
and,
fresh. Okay.
oo nga eh. And
Oo.
I felt like, oh, thank you. But I guess gano'n naman pag nagsisilbi ka sa Diyos, 'di ba, na
Happy.
you look young, you look
Happy
radiant.
life.
Yeah, happy
Okay.
life, yun.
Oo.
But, yun, for some people na yung kasi work from home eh. So,
Ah,
madalas, like, we're just encouraged to go to the office.
oo.
Encouraged lang, kung gusto mo lang. But most of the time, ito sa work from home setup.
Mhm.
So, yun, yung mga nakaka-chat ko lang from time
Okay.
to time, I felt like there are moments na feeling ko para akong guidance counselor. But, yun, and
Oo.
nung mga time na yun, pag nakakausap ko sila through our chat, dun ko lang na-realize na iba rin talaga that I've had those experiences, to
Mhm.
give them somehow words of advice or words of consolation, gano'n.
Mm.
So iba man yung lengguwahe na gamit ko. I mean,
Mm.
I know that the Lord did not send me, there to preach like how I
Oo.
used to preach when I was a missionary, but
Yeah.
really just more of being a presence,
Oo.
God's presence in the midst of the work that we have. So,
Mm.
yun lang yung nasa isip ko.
Alright.
And nakakatuwa naman kasi may mga nare-receive ako na sinasabi nila na, yun, gumagaan yung loob nila pag nakakausap nila ako, and
Hmm.
it's a different kind of consolation knowing na kahit papano naibabahagi mo si Lord sa kanila.
Alright. So would you consider those as parang mga joys mo or wins mo sa work mo ngayon?
Yes, so I consider those as wins, especially wins for the Lord. Pero ayun nga, hindi rin maalis sa akin yung medyo perfectionist din kasi ako when it comes to myself and
Aha.
when it comes to the work I do. So also part of the wins that I consider is to do my work excellently din talaga. But
Mm.
also not removing or hindi ko inaalis din sa isip ko na hindi lang ako nandito para sa work, but more so to be with the people.
Mm.
So, yun, yung mga out of the blue na mga usap about, yung mga out of the blue lang talaga, nag-open
Oo.
up sila about their faith in God, about their mental health, about their struggles in the family,
Okay.
struggles in their health.
Oo.
Yun,
Baka may aura ka ng ano, ng counselor. Or
baka
baka
nga
napanood
eh.
nila yung online show mo noon, hindi kaya?
Hindi naman. Wala akong nare-reveal. Nare-reveal sa kanila na anything. I mean, if they ask, I just say, but
On
I
a
don't,
need to know basis.
yeah, I
Oo.
don't volunteer the idea or
Information.
the information. Kasi unlimited lang din kasi dahil work from home kami.
Yeah. So,
Konti
hindi
lang talaga yung
talaga.
time to see each other personally.
Oo, hindi talaga nakakapag-chika-chika ng ano,
Mm-mm.
lengthily, okay. Alright, parang Amy 'no, nakakatuwa lang kasi when you were sharing what you are sharing 'no, to us right now, parang, um, being a lay missionary and, trying to enter the religious life kind of gave you a different kind of depth doon sa perspectives mo as a Catholic young professional. Kasi parang hindi naman sa minamaliit natin yung perspective mo noon, no? Pero kasi yung perspective mo nung college is I think it's a normal
Mhm.
perspective for a lot of young people, no? Parang they see it as a job, something that I do and I get paid for it. No? Pero nung nag-work ka na, parang ano na, somehow, kasi medyo lumipat ka ng, di ba, nag-move ka rin,
Mhm.
hindi ka naman isa lang. So parang umakyat ka rin sa corporate ladder kahit papaano. So you also saw it as a career for you to, yung mga opportunities, no? Kaya lang parang nagbago ngayon, kahit na sabihin mong bumalik ka sa corporate, parang hindi na siya job lang or career, parang calling na siya. Tama
Yes.
ba? Tama ba yung, pagkaintindi ko?
Yes. Oo.
Mm.
So, it's like, parang feeling ko ngayon para akong undercover na
Agent.
undercover na agent ni Lord.
Gagana. Okay, o sige, let's talk about that, being an undercover agent ni Lord. O sige, kasi parang nga sabi mo nga siguro they're drawn to you, may nagse-share sila. Anong masasabi mo ngayon? What do you think are the challenges that a a young professional faces today in the workplace?
Yeah, yung mga challenges, first and foremost, well, andun kasi yung mga ideologies of the world. And, syempre, being in there, ano din like, iniisip ko din, um, I mean, limited lang din kasi siguro yung understanding nila when it comes to the teachings of the Catholic Church.
Mm.
So,
But are they Catholic, yung mga katrabaho mo?
yes.
See,
Majority of them naman Catholic. But
fine.
we really don't talk about religion.
Okay,
Ganun.
okay.
So, but when during the training, when I introduced myself as previously a lay missionary, ganyan,
Ah,
syempre, parang meron na sila kagad. Like,
questions. Yeah.
oh, may mga questions na rin agad. Pero also, andun din yung expectation nila sa'yo na
Okay.
na Catholic lay missionary siya. So, she's so Catholic.
She's
Ganun.
so she's so holy.
Yeah, oo. Yung parang andun din yung feeling mo na baka feeling nila natatakot silang mag-open up sa'yo
Mm,
when it comes to, questions about faith.
yeah.
But on the contrary, yun, mas nag-open up na rin naman sila
Mm,
about that. Pero ayun nga, just being there kasi parang when people know that you're a Catholic missionary, parang matik na agad na na okay, teachings of the Catholic Church, for sure she's practicing it. Yung ganon.
oo.
So, um, hindi na more of preaching yung ministry ko
Ah,
ngayon. It's more of listening
ah,
and understanding um why they think the
the way that
things
they
they
think.
think. Yeah.
Oo.
Oh, yun. So why do they have that kind of perspective? What are the challenges that hindering them from understanding the perspective of the Catholic Church? Yung mga ganun ba? So it's more of like a kind of listening ministry ako ngayon.
Para ka
And
listening heart, you have a listening heart.
yeah, I have a listening.
Oo, oo.
So, yun, kumbaga dati kung puro ako talkies,
Mm,
ganyan, like more of giving talks. Now, I just let them talk and let them open about their life and let
ah,
them open about their perspective. And minsan it doesn't end up me giving them advice. Like
Mm.
just being there and listening to
Kinig.
them is, more than enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I realized the world nowadays, parang ang dami ng opinions lang lahat ng mga tao. Everyone is talking.
Correct.
And no one wants to take the job of listening.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah,
That's
from talking,
oo.
from talking and talking and talking, the Lord called me to a different kind of life of listening
Oh,
and saying things for them. Yeah.
all right.
Praying for them.
So ang galing, no? So you really believe that you are still responding to God's mission for you by being an active listener, no, to these young professionals. All right. Amy, I feel happy that you are able to do this, na natutuloy mo pa rin yung mission sa'yo ng Diyos kahit na nasa corporate ka. And in fact, nagpapasalamat ako na nandyan ka, 'no? Kasi parang yun nga dapat, 'di ba? Marami marami sa atin feeling natin dapat nahihiwalay natin yung pananampalataya. Hinihiwalay natin yung faith natin dun sa araw-araw na buhay natin. Pero parang you're a true testament to a person who is still able um to live her life according to God's plan and yet be in the world, be part of the world, and be a very kumbaga influencer ka ni God sa world. 'Di ba? Tama ba? 'Di ba parang gano'n ang dating, 'no? Ano sa tingin mo? Tama ba yung ano, tama ba yung sinabi natin?
Yeah, parang parang ang bigat ng influencer.
Bakit? Baliktad kasi yan ang ginagamit na terms ng world ngayon,
Oo nga.
influencer, 'di ba? Gamitin lang natin, 'di ba?
Yeah, yung influencer parang medyo mabigat siya na word pero um oo nga yun yung language na ginagamit ng mundo ngayon. So,
Oo.
um yeah, being an influencer of God, parang ano siya eh, hindi siya yung agad-agad mong magagawa sa mga taong nakapaligid sa iyo.
Mm.
So, it's more of like um really practicing uh my faith,
Mm.
really living out my faith. Um but at the same time making just I just want to be there for the people, for them to open up
Mm.
yung I just want to be there for them to listen to their stories, to listen to their struggles. Um I have that understanding na hindi siya overnight process.
Mm.
And I have that understanding na hindi siya agad-agad. Like, hindi mo agad-agad mai-impart yung Catholic faith mo sa kanila. Like, I cannot impart to them in an instance yung
Yeah.
depth ng faith and understanding na meron ako
Mm.
sa pagmamahal ng Diyos. But I just always remind myself that I'm there to listen to them. And if there are things that I cannot change about them, which I know na mahirap talaga,
Mm.
kasi hindi naman natin trabaho yun, pero it's the work of the Holy Spirit. I just bring it to prayer. Like,
Mm.
I'm both their listener and prayer warrior.
Mm.
And they don't have to, like, know it.
Yeah,
Hindi
yeah,
naman
oo, correct.
sabi sa kanila, uy, ganyan. But there are moments that I really tell them and I'm really vocal that I'll be praying for you, I'll be
Oo.
praying for your family, ganyan.
Oo.
So yun, I'm both a listener and a prayer warrior, and I hope that listening to them and praying for them would make a big difference in their life and influence them to know how much they are loved by God.
Wow, so beautiful, Amy. Amy Joy, beautiful inside and out. So parang ang take away ko dito sa ating usapan na ito ay I believe that God has really brought you there for a greater purpose, no? Hindi normal yung journey mo eh. Hindi siya usual, pero ang ganda ng journey mo, no? Kumbaga sakto lang na dinala ka ni God doon sa journey na yon, yung corporate to to missionary, lay missionary life, religious, and back to corporate. I think we really need more people like you who will bring their faith in the workplace, bring their faith to the world because the world needs to hear, no? To
Yeah.
hear how real the
Mhm.
Lord is and how real um our faith should be. So thank you very much, Amy, for sharing that. And more of, sabi mo nga kanina, hindi preaching ang iyong calling ngayon. Ang
Yeah.
call mo ay to listen. And I think more than that, while you were describing it, witnessing din, no?
Yeah.
Hindi mo kailangan magsalita. Pakita mo lang
Yeah.
na ito yung ginagawa mo, ito yung buhay mo. Any last words that you would like to share? Especially to the young professionals.
Yeah. Siguro, to the young professionals out there, especially to the Catholic young professionals, don't be afraid to live out your faith and to bring your faith in the workplace. As much as the ideology of the world is very strong, I think us being Catholics in the workplace, we don't need to be sorry for the faith that we have. We don't need to be sorry for the things that we believe in na nagka-clash sa world, but we just have to be courageous enough and to know when to speak and when to listen, and to also be sensitive to the movements of the Holy Spirit in your life. Like in our lives, there are seasons. Yun nga, katulad ko, when I recently graduated from college, it's a season of yung working, aspiring dreams of my own. And when I called to be a missionary, it's a season of really immersing in the lifestyle of my faith, practicing my faith. And in the season when I was called to enter the religious life to discern, it was a season of listening, being purified, being pruned, and just to be, sent back into the corporate again. So the different kind of season, and in every season of life, we need to bring our faith with it. So it's a season of life and a season of faith. It works together hand in hand that way. And
Oo.
we just need to be thankful for the Lord for every journey that we have.
Wow, so beautiful. The more aligned that we are with our faith and our life, the more
Yes.
happy we will be.
Yes.
No? Correct. Ang galing, galing. Prepare, parang training mo yon, no? Galing mo.
Nice.
Galing
Galing
ni
ni
Lord.
Lord.
Galing ni Lord sa'yo, no? Thank you very much, Amy, for taking the time and for sharing all of that with us. And also, thank you, dear viewers, for joining us in this episode. That's all the time that we have now. This is Chinka Besinga-Sarmiento, reminding you today, haba-habaan ng pasensya sapagkat ang buhay parang life.